Oh, hello. So I've been asked, what is the relationship between the different trusts, the Alpha Omega Trust, White Spiritual Boy Trust, Spiritual Wonder Boy Trust, and the Avila Family Trust? And of course, I don't think I could articulate it. I don't actually know. So, but what I do know, one connection is that it was the 17 powers of attorney that agreed that those four trusts should be managed, audited, and brought to the people for what they were will and in what's it called, will and indentured for, um, should be done by and appointed Judge Adriaan Fondse. So that's that part. What I do use those for is that when I talk about the Alpha Omega Trust, I think of it as the largest trust, the trust that underpins the whole world economy, and that helps people understand that this can be a correction of the World Bank system, because they realise that if the Alpha Omega Trust funds underpin the whole economy, then all the things that they thought, all the bad actors, all the governments and people only talking about the debt and not the credit side, that they're actually all bankrupt. So they help us get the scale of what is possible right now, especially starting tomorrow with the Fire Horse year. But also the Avila Family Trust gives people the understanding that these were real families, real legacies. So there was much profit and work and business and everything else, trade, um, and this huge wealth was accrued by these families, and they were very carefully put into trusts to make sure that they couldn't be stolen or just used by profit making people in the system. Unfortunately, they were lent to the World Bank and handled badly. And as any loan that is handled badly or fraudulently, or there is money taken from those reserves, then obviously that is a crime. And so it helps people realize that these are real people's money that is owed to them and is now being returned, and why that has to happen and why it's already been agreed by the courts. And then the the spiritual uh, the other two trusts, I'm sure they're absolutely vast, and they've almost taken on legendary proportions. Um, but I sometimes think it's quite useful because we have the documents that show some of their accounts indentured for mankind and for the same beneficial purposes. And so that helps me think that co-trustees can talk about those as ones that are to be paid out in a way first. So whereas Judge Adriaan Fondse really wants to make sure that it is very clear that all revenue offices, all social security, all banks, all post offices, they're already under the control of these trusts. They already belong to these trusts. But at the same time, another part of our remit as co-trustees is to make sure that there are ways for these to start being paid out and money to be paid out to the projects. So maybe the smaller trusts, even if they're not that much smaller, who knows? I will do another video on what I've learned about the scale of these trust funds. But it's just so, if you get a familiarity with how these trusts have come to be, and they're already distributed. The information is ours. We are to we already in principle already have control, and so it is now for us to instruct the courts to actually release these funds, and act as executors for us, to pay them out to what they were indentured for.